is the Mikal Bridges trade that came together rather quickly last night, is my understanding. The Knicks didn't think they had a shot at Bridges, hadn't thought that they had a shot at Bridges for a while now. Something that helped them, I think, was Bridges' side communicating to the Nets that he wanted to be a Knick and communicating that if they traded him to other teams, he would tell those teams that he was not going to re-sign there, that he wanted to be in New York. So that put some pressure on the Nets to make this happen. But Bridges has 2 years left on his deal, so they didn't have to make this trade last night. The Knicks had to come up with a offer that the Nets could not refuse, and they did that, obviously, with the 6 firsts, 1 pick swap, and the second, and just a tremendous draft haul for Sean Marks and Brooklyn and first-year head coach Jordi Fernandez. So many moving parts with this thing. Steve, I want to start with you. Where do you think this leaves the Knicks now?
Look, I think that they're all in, that this shows that they believe they're a contender. And look, I talked, I'm sure you did too, Ian, to people in the organization this year. They thought if healthy, they could have been a team that could have contended for a title. They could have beat Boston. The versatility and depth that this gives them, I think, is a tremendous pickup for them. And I'm just not worried about these picks. You know, they think they're going to be a very good team for a couple of years here. I think Leon Rose will be relaxing on the beach by the time any of the late picks wind up, coming into play.
John, I wanted to go there with you. The draft compensation for Mikal Bridges, a player, very nice player, player who can help you win games, but not a decorated player at this point in his career. What were your thoughts on that?
I mean, you could argue in the history of these sorts of levels of trades, like really these sorts of picks packages are fairly recent in the grand scheme of NBA history. We started seeing them maybe in the last 10, 15 years. I'm not sure there's been, to use your term, like a less decorated player, and that's not a slight against Mikal Bridges. He's never made an All-Star team, let alone an All-NBA team. But, and this is, I think, the key, and Steve touched on this a bit. I don't think they're worried about, we're going to be, terrible 5, 6, 7 years from now. To me, this was a bet on the opportunity cost and, in essence, the lack of an opportunity cost. I think the Knicks looked at the landscape and, we've sat here how many summers in a row? Okay, when is it going to be the big time guy, right, who asks out? Maybe they just kind of got tired of waiting. And they're like, you know what? As Steve said, we have a team that we believe can win a championship right now. We understand there's an opportunity cost. Once we send these picks out the door, you don't get them back. We're not going to get a bite at the apple if, a Devin Booker or a Giannis Antetokounmpo asks out tomorrow. They're willing to live with that because, again, they think that what they got in-house is pretty good.
That's why I think when people talk about, you could have used these picks on some star, let's use Donovan Mitchell. I just don't think the fit is as good for what the Knicks are trying to build here. They want the ball in Jalen Brunson's hands. Taking that away for 30 shots a night for someone else is not the plan right now. I think Bridges fits well and sort of just only adds to what we saw last year. And I think the versatility and depth it gives them is tremendous. I mean, you're talking about guys who are playing 45 minutes a game in the playoffs are now probably going to be second unit guys.
Now, one thing that I was talking to somebody about was Bridges and the fit. Steve, you're mentioning it. And they said you can't buy chemistry, right? And the Knicks already have this established chemistry, this group of players that like each other, that know how to win together, know how to deal with adversity together. And Bridges, for obvious reasons, Villanova connections, he slides right into that. And it's not like you have to acclimate somebody to your locker room. It's not like you have to get them comfortable with your group as you might in another trade for, let's say, a Giannis or another player. This is a like as seamless a fit as you can get in this league. So I think I'm with you, Steve, in terms of the value of Bridges there when you look at what might come down the line, what may or may not come down the line. And I don't think the Knicks thought that this was a possibility, up until the recent events of really the last day or two. And they went out and, again, made the Nets an offer that I think no other team was going to match, willing to match, and they got this deal done.